graph the function y equals negative sine pi over 3x plus 4, label key points and show at least 2 cycles. So we need to determine the period. Is it negative 1? So when we take absolute value of negative 1, we get 1. That's the amplitude. So pretty much same as regular sine. So pi over 3, that's the frequency. So based on that, we can find the period. Okay, the period is 2 pi over b or omega, whatever this pi over 3. Pi over 3, that means 2 pi times, we flip this fraction, 3 over pi, then we can cancel pi, that leaves 6. So we got period of this function with 6. So now we take 0 through 6. Now divide into 4 equal parts. So midpoint will be 3, another midpoint 1.5, 3 and 6 halfway would be 4.5. So we make a small table. These are x values for key points, and we find the corresponding y from this function. So, okay, y values are given from this, okay, for different values of x. So x is 0, 1.5, 3 halves by the way, 3, 9 halves, and 6. Okay, let's plug these in here. So we're gonna get negative sine pi over 3 times x is 0. Okay, it's a sine 0 plus 4. Negative sine 0 is 0, so this is just 4. So at 0, y is 4. 1.5, let's plug in 1.5 here. 1.5 is same as 3 halves. So pi over 3 times 3 halves, that is pi over 2. So this will be pi over 2. So negative sine pi over 2 plus 4. Sine pi over 2 is 1. So negative 1 plus 4, that's positive 3. So 1.5, 3. Okay. Now the next point is 3. Let's plug in 3 here. So negative sine pi over 3 times 3 plus 4. 3 cancel. Sine pi, which is 0. Sine pi is 0, so this is 0 plus 4, just 4. 4.5, which is 9 halves. Okay, 4.5 is 9 halves. Plug in there. Negative sine pi over 3 times 4.5 is 9 halves. And plus 4. This one can be simplified to 3 goes 3 times. Then we have negative sine 3 pi over 2. Plus 4 is outside. Sine 3 pi over 2, which is 270 degrees. So that's 1. Negative 1, sorry. Sine pi over 2 is 1. But sine 3 pi over 2 is negative 1. So negative 1 plus 4 minus in negative means plus 1 plus 4 is 5. So this is 5. And finally we have 6. Let's plug in 6 here. So negative sine pi over 3 times 6 plus 4. You don't have to show this work. Maybe you can just plug in your calculator. Negative sine 3 goes 2 times 2 pi plus 4. Sine 2 pi is 0. So just 4. As you can see, 4, 3, 4, 5, back to 4. So we have one cycle. Now we're gonna graph here. Okay, let me erase this work. So we need to know the basic graph of sine first. Okay, then we go from there. So if we look at the question here, it's a negative sine x plus 4. Let me start with sine x. We know the graph of sine x. That is just like this. Okay. Then negative means we need to flip. Y equals negative sine x means now instead of going up from here, we will be going down. Okay, that's negative sine x. And x means we have something else, okay, that we take care from this table. Plus 4 means the axis of symmetry here. That's the y equals 0, x-axis. Now plus 4 means we need to shift this graph up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this line, so we will be going around this line now. So for this graph, due to this plus 4, that's the vertical shift, by the way. This plus 4 means this x-axis is in fact at 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can draw a parallel line here, parallel to x-axis. So our graph will be symmetric with respect to this line. This is y equals 4, by the way. This is x-axis means y 0. Okay, that will be the case, but that will be determined from this table anyways. But that's, and then look at the graph. Minus sine x means we are going downward here. That will be determined from these values anyways. So 0, 4. So first is 0, 4. At 0, we got 4. That's here, the first point, 0, 4. 1.53. Oh, now this is 0, so we need to label x-axis. This is 0, this is 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. On the left, negative 3 halves, negative 1.5, negative 3, negative 9 halves, 4.5, and negative 6. The first point we found, the key point, 0, 4. So here is 0, 4. The next is 1.53. So 1.53. Okay, so this is 3 label, 1.53. Okay. Then next is 3, 4. At 3 we get back to 4. Okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. 4.5, 5. So 4.5 we go to 5. And at 6, 4. 6 is back to 4 here. Okay, so 6 at 4, and we need to get this graph. Negative sign means like this, and that's what we have here. Okay, anyway, this one we go down up to here and go up, and up to there go down. Okay, this is symmetric with this, with respect to this line. This is one cycle. Now we need to do the same thing. So at 1.5 it was down, now we go up, back to 0. It was up means it will be down and back to 4. So just this graph, extending this graph. Okay, not quite like that. So let me erase here. Now you got the idea, okay? And they ask us to level the 4 points. So this is 0, 4, 1.53. This is 3, 4. I'm looking at the table. 3, 4. This is 3, 4. Then 4.5, 5, and 6, 4. These 5 points are key points. Okay, so we got 2 cycles from 0, kind of, this is 4 to 4 and back 4 to 4.